The police have booked the complainant against two Air India staffers for an alleged obscene Facebook closed group comments that too under the same section 66A of the IT Act. The genesis of the dispute, which saw the two staffers being arrested for 12 days, seems like a face-saving attempt by the police after widespread condemnation.
Release Air India employees KVJ Rao and Mayank Sharma and book complainant Sagar Karnik instead under the same contentious Section 66A of the Information Technology Act. That seems to be the Mumbai Cybercrime Cell's inexplicable attempt at a face-saver after there was national outrage over the arrest of the first two for putting up posts that were deemed offensive to Indian politicians. In what seems to be a surprise move, the Cybercrime Cell here in Mumbai have now booked the complainant after arresting two Air India employees and keeping them in custody for 12 days. The police have booked Karnik now for allegedly threatening KVJ Rao and also being part of the Facebook group that had posted the original content. This, legal experts say, is as ridiculous as the arrests the first time around.
This certainly seems to be an accommodation FIR whereby police is trying to have some sort of a balancing act so that there could be a balance between the accused and the complainant. Certainly this is not permissible under the law.
Karnik was not available for comment despite repeated attempts, but KVJ Rao and Mayank Sharma, who had faced the consequences of his complaint, allege that the police have acted against him now only because the case came under the media spotlight and that Karnik had acted in collusion with NCP leader Kiran Pavaskar.
Now it is clear that the police have bungled up in their investigation very badly.
Police's latest step indicates the arbitrary manner in which sections of the Information Technology Act are applied. With camera person Abdullah Zakaria in Mumbai, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
We must tell our viewers that we did approach Sagar Karnik on many occasions. He had initially agreed to come on the show and then said it was sub judice, so he didn't want to speak. Well, joining us from Mumbai, KVJ Rao, senior crew member with Air India. A. Khan, former additional commissioner and former ATS chief with the Mumbai police. He's also the author of Surrender and is probably better known for shootout at Lokhandwala. As well as Pranesh Prakash, policy director, Center for Internet and Society, joins us from Bangalore. Mr. Rao, we heard you in that story as well. Your argument now will be that the arrest against you and your colleague was totally illegal if now they're filing the same charges against the complainant.
Yeah, exactly. You see, Ravi, it's like that, Amitabh. Look at it this way. Kiran Pavaskar and Sagar Karnik filed a complaint against us. This is from a closed group. They arrest us at midnight, forged a remand note to get our remand, and after we are released and we go and give them all these documents, say, see, the complainant all the while was threatening us, it is the other way around. They don't take any cognizance for the last 4 months, and now after it comes into the media, now suddenly I have the police who call me and say, okay, we are filing the FIR, so why don't you come to the police station? So I said, fine, it's perfectly okay by me. But what we fail to understand is that the investigation has been done by us. So how did Inspector Goshalkar come to my house at 1:30 after 1.5 years of the complaint, threaten me, take us to the police station, forge the remand note, take our remand, and no investigation is done in the last 1.5 years.
No investigation, some would say totally bizarre. Mr. A. Khan, if I can bring you in here, we heard a former police officer also saying this is a compensatory or an accommodative FIR. What are your views on this subject? The same act filed against the complainant now post-haste?
You see, very frankly, we've been having a lot of discussion on the inept handling of the police of complaints against the IT Act. What I feel is that instead of discussing one issue, we've been having these cases we've been having this discussion over the past 2 or 3 weeks. What is required is a thorough briefing of the police officers on how to handle these cases, for a review by senior police officers of the actions taken under this act, and as was discussed earlier in the press and in the media, a thorough revamping of the act, whether it is necessary, whether it infringes on the individual rights or the fundamental rights of freedom of expression.
Right. These are many solutions that have been put forward,
bungling
Mr. Khan. Yeah, I'm just going to Pranesh Prakash in Bangalore. Pranesh, this is the question that comes up straight away. Is there a problem with the law, or is there a problem with the implementation of the law?
There's a problem with both,
There's
definitely.
A problem with
Section
the implementation of the
66A
law.
of
Yeah,
the
Mr.
Act.
Khan, just coming to you, I'm going to Pranesh Prakash first.
Thanks. I would say there's a problem with both right now. Implementation-wise, the general principle is bail, not jail. And in the original arrest, that wasn't followed. For instance, they were kept in jail for 12 days. Apart from that, the fact is Section 66A of the Act is a cognizable crime, punishable with 3 years of imprisonment. So, as I've noted before, it's far, less. It's carries a greater punishment than trying to than killing someone by accident, for instance.
Which is quite extraordinary.
It's it is quite extraordinary, and the steps taken by the Minister Kapil Sibal are really good. He's requested that only DCPs be allowed to grant permission to arrest people under this provision. But that's only an interim step. Far more needs to be done. The section itself is unconstitutional in the way it's drafted, the penalty that it prescribes.
Sure.
So, and not only this provision, there are far greater penalties in the rest of the IT Act, and it needs extensive overhaul.
Mr. Rao, you would agree with that, that your case and many other cases that have come up to light and have been handled by the media are looking at somehow changing or amending the Act itself?
No, Amitabh, let's get this very clear. The police inspectors who came to our houses, the force, because it was not one inspector, they were a whole team. You see, had planned everything very, very systematically in collusion with the complainant who was a politician. You see, you come to pick me up 1.5 years after the complaint, 1:30 in the night on a Friday, no bail, you impound my passport which is illegal. So this is a planned thing. Then you forge, when you take us to court, you suddenly realize all sections are bailable. So you forge the remand note, you put us into jail, and you see, this is a plan. So it is actually the police. I don't blame the interpretation of the law. The law is there. You see, it is the police who have planned. Either I can put it very blindly. Either there were gratuities involved in this, or there was a lot of political pressure to get us into the cell.
Let me go to Mr. Khan with that very point that you're raising, Mr. Rao. The genesis of this problem apparently is again some electoral issues in the All India Cabin Crew Association, and here the allegation is that someone who was standing either for a post or had an axe to grind with these two gentlemen forced the issue here, especially a year after the complaint was made. How much pressure is the police really under, Mr. Khan?
See, the police should not be under pressure from any of the parties. But the fact remains that the law is so vague. The Act has given such sweeping wide powers to the police that the chance of misuse is tremendous. Anyone may not be bringing political pressure, but anyone who has contacts with the police or who is in good books of the police can get the Act misused and harass people. That is why I said it needs the Act needs a second look, especially these sections where, you see, the entire idea, as I would see it, was that it is to prevent inciting hatred between two groups or communities or sects, or to prevent inciting of people. Now, fomenting trouble which would lead to a law and order problem. Now, instead of sticking to all that, we are going around picking on people who have said something which offends a third party, who feels that it is offensive.
Sure.
Now, how you feel whether it's offensive or not should not influence the cops. What is the larger effect of the statement made on Facebook? That should be the issue at stake.
And you were talking about desensitizing. I can just go back to Pranesh Prakash in Bangalore. We talked about the police, we talked about the implementation of this law, but the law itself was passed by Parliament, by our parliamentarians, without any debate.
Indeed, and it was one amongst 8 laws passed in 15 minutes. So it is a problem. It needs extensive review. The most problematic part of the Section 66A, which is the part that criminalizes causing of annoyance or inconvenience, was introduced just a few days before it was passed. It wasn't even looked at by the Standing Committee. So, and this is, as I said, only one amongst many problems. Last year, for instance, the intermediary guidelines rules were passed, and under that set of rules, the complainant could have just gone straight to Facebook, demanded that they remove certain postings because they were contrary to Indian law, and Facebook would have had no choice but to do so. So these laws really are a problem and need extensive overhaul.
Ranesh Prakash, Policy Director of the Center for Internet and Society in Bangalore. KVJ Rao, Senior Crew Member with Air India, and A.A. Khan, former Additional Commissioner and former ATS Chief, Mumbai Police. Thanks so much for joining us. We do believe that 9 MPs have demanded a discussion in Parliament as well on the issue of whether there's need to change that law.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.